In Argentina, 2001, citizens exchanged family heirlooms for bread. Throughout the blockade of Sarajevo, one simple matchbook purchased weeks of supplies. And during California's blackouts in 2020, I witnessed my colleague pay $60 for basic batteries. These aren't isolated incidents. They demonstrate that during societal breakdown, the goods that gain maximum value aren't obvious. And if you haven't accumulated them before crisis strikes, unlimited cash won't secure them afterward. First, pocket lighters, not matchsticks, not premium ignition tools. Simple plastic disposable lighters become pure currency during breakdown. Flame is clearly essential, but most miss understanding the mental aspect of dependable, immediate flame within reach. Throughout 2015 survival exercises in Wyoming, deep winter, everything damp and icy, the person near me carried expensive flint steel starter, required 40 minutes establishing flame. I retrieved a dollar store lighter, spark, in 3 seconds. That's when understanding came. During actual crises, you avoid complicated equipment when freezing, frightened, and drained. Lighters are protected devices, unlike matchsticks destroyed by moisture or ferro sticks demanding expertise and dry kindling. Lighters function in virtually any situation. The fluid secured, the design straightforward, they deliver thousands of ignitions. I've verified lighters kept beyond 12 years still operate flawlessly in trade systems. Lighters transform into ideal exchange units. They're compact, uniform, everyone instantly recognizes their worth. Throughout Bosnia's breakdown, one lighter exchanged for sufficient provisions to sustain a household 7 days. Not because lighters were originally scarce, but survivors rapidly understood without dependable flame, you cannot purify water, prepare meals, maintain warmth, or create rescue signals. My approach? I purchased 60 packs during sales. Not decorative versions, just standard plain color types. Then placed throughout. Vehicle, emergency bag, coat pockets, concealed reserves. Second, sewing needle and string. This prompts mockery until proper consideration. When did you recently repair anything? Now picture your coat rips, pack strap fails, final work pants tear at connections, and there's no shop, no delivery, nothing. That damaged coat isn't annoyance now. It's the distinction between protection and freezing. Garments and equipment deteriorate rapidly when utilized intensely every day. Without repair capacity, you're observing survival ability decline one tear at once. However, needle and string isn't merely repairing garments. During medical crises, when hospitals are overloaded or absent, closing wounds could preserve lives. I'm not recommending operations, but fundamental wound sealing with clean thread has been traditional field care for generations. A repair kit the dimension of card deck can fix hundreds of objects, weighs practically nothing, never spoils, demands zero energy. Contrast that with adhesive tape. Heavy, short-term, once applied, it's finished. Needle and string gets utilized repeatedly. I discovered this throughout a 2017 hiking expedition. My bag's shoulder connection began splitting day 4. Attempted adhesive tape lasted 5 hours. Eventually located somebody with needle and string, invested 25 minutes on solid repair. That restoration still functions presently. Lasting fixes exceed temporary solutions every instance long-term. Third, cable ties. Most consider about rope and parachute cord, and those count, but cable ties are the hidden advantage most survivors overlook. They're precious because of velocity and reliability. You can fasten, connect, or fix something in moments, even with frozen, damp, or damaged hands. Attempt tying reliable knots when digits are frozen or you're operating in blackness, nearly unachievable. Cable ties establish permanent, remarkably powerful bonds. A solid 9-inch cable tie supports beyond 60 pounds. Industrial ones manage 200 pounds. That's tougher than most cord knots. Never weakens, never releases, never breaks from shaking or shifting. During breakdown circumstances, protection becomes critical. Cable ties rapidly secure entrances, establish makeshift fasteners, connect materials for refuge building, even function as urgent medical tools for stabilizing fractured limbs. They're totally weatherproof. Throughout the 2019 Florida hurricane, I observed my associate attempt fastening a cover over his damaged entrance with cord and powerful winds. Required nearly 90 minutes, didn't secure properly. I offered him cable ties, issue resolved in 6 minutes. He attempted compensating me $55 for that package immediately. That's when recognition hits something holds genuine worth. Fourth, metal foil. This appears ordinary, and that's precisely the advantage. When everything advanced stops functioning, basic becomes brilliant. Standard metal foil becomes absolutely invaluable during breakdown.
Breakdown, not for assumptions you're considering. Initially, it's the supreme warmth amplifier. When resources become limited, metal foil doubles or triples thermal effectiveness. Position it behind warmth sources as a mirror. Place it beneath rest gear, bouncing body warmth skyward. Cover cardboard with it, building solar cookers that heat provisions without any resources. I've cooked meals in cardboard containers covered with metal foil utilizing only daylight. No power, fuel, or timber, just sunshine and foil. Metal foil is totally moisture-proof and builds instant barrier layers. During survival scenarios, dampness is the adversary. It creates bacteria, spoils provisions, damages supplies, triggers hypothermia. Basic foil layers shield vital objects from dampness superior to most specialized equipment. Cover matchsticks, rounds, devices, drugs. That narrow foil coating could represent the distinction between functional materials and worthless trash. Here's what nobody thinks until required: signaling. Metal foil pieces can be observed from kilometers distance as reflection devices. They can be formed into funnels, boosting volume, indicate paths, establish urgent markers, even function as bait during emergency operations. Healthcare uses are remarkable also. Metal foil is inherently antibacterial and functions as urgent clean barriers. Medical facilities in underdeveloped regions utilize metal foil precisely this manner when resources diminish. What genuinely makes metal foil precious during breakdown? It's expendable but extremely productive. Individual rolls hold about 80 square feet of substance. Unlike most preparation objects, everyone instantly grasps its worth because everyone's applied it previously. Fifth, hydrogen peroxide solution. This is the overlooked object worth its mass in precious metals. Actually, when health systems collapse, contamination becomes the primary killer. Not aggression, not hunger. Contamination. A basic wound becoming infected can end you in a reality without antimicrobials. That's where hydrogen peroxide solution becomes a rescuer. Most individuals consider hydrogen peroxide solution as liquid that foams on wounds, but it's far more. It's among the only genuine comprehensive disinfectants protected for human application. It eliminates bacteria, pathogens, fungus, and microbes. When healthcare might be days or months distant or might not be available whatsoever, correctly sanitizing injuries is actually existence and termination. But hydrogen peroxide solution isn't only for injuries. It can sanitize water during urgencies. 3 tablespoons of 3% hydrogen peroxide solution per container of water. Allow rest 35 minutes and you've eliminated most germs. Is it as effective as correct sanitization tabs? Negative. But when those deplete and you're selecting between suspect water and severe thirst, hydrogen peroxide solution could rescue your existence. Here's what most never think: nutrition protection. During breakdown, refrigeration stops. Nutrition preservation becomes vital. Hydrogen peroxide solution can rinse produce, sanitize preparation areas, even prolong certain nutrition storage duration. Throughout the Russian breakdown, individuals who comprehended science utilized hydrogen peroxide solution, maintaining nutrition protected when refrigeration vanished. It's also an remarkable sanitizing substance when detergent becomes limited. It sanitizes and cleans areas, implements, and supplies without harmful remains. It converts into water and air, totally protected, totally harmless. Here's the preparation strategy nobody discusses. Purchase tiny brown containers, maintain them closed, keep in cool, dim locations, and they'll preserve strength for decades. Sixth, lubricating oil. This appears strange until you comprehend what genuinely breaks first during breakdown. It's not major dramatic situations, it's minor mechanical breakdowns expanding into major issues. Every implement, weapon, supplies piece you're depending on has operating components. Operating components require lubrication, or they freeze and become worthless. Lubricating oil is the ideal thin, durable, versatile lubricant. It's created for detailed supplies, indicating it doesn't congeal, doesn't collect particles, sustains consistency in harsh temperatures. One tiny container can preserve dozens of vital implements for decades. Consider what occurs when your blade won't function because the joint froze, when your weapons mechanism binds, manual implements catch, entrance fasteners stop operating smoothly. During regular periods, you purchase replacements or get them fixed. During breakdown, that frozen implement might cost your existence. Here's why lubricating oil particularly is so precious. It's remarkably refined and thin, unlike penetrating spray, which is genuinely a chemical that can harm particular substances, or thick oils collecting particles and waste.
Lubricating oil is created for fragile, exact systems. It operates on everything from weapons to tackle wheels to health devices. Throughout Katrina crisis response, one of the largest issues survivors encountered weeks following wasn't provisions or water. It was supplies breakdown due to dampness and absence of care. Implements corroded, fasteners froze, power units stopped. The rare survivors with any oil became remarkably sought. One individual exchanged individual ounces of lubricating oil for boxes of rations. That's how precious lubrication becomes when everything's failing. I maintain lubricating oil in tiny applicator containers spread through all my collections. A 3-ounce container occupies almost zero area, but can preserve all vital implements for seasons. Seventh, securing pins. If you believe securing pins are only for holding material together, you're ignoring 85% of their survival worth. These tiny objects of curved metal become remarkably precious solution finders when production halts and adaptation becomes survival. Securing pins are the supreme micro-implement. They operate as bait hooks, snare activators, mechanism picks, circuit connectors, operation tools, and countless other uses. They're constructed of tension steel, indicating they're remarkably powerful for their dimension and sustained form under pressure. During urgent healthcare, securing pins can be cleaned and utilized for everything from extracting fragments to emptying contaminations to fastening wraps. Throughout World War II, battlefield medics viewed securing pins critical supplies. They measure nothing, occupy zero area, and address health issues that would alternatively demand particular implements. But damaged closures on coats or rest gear are critical issues in freezing conditions. Securing pins repair them immediately. Damaged equipment, broken connections, stopped closures. Securing pins can briefly or lastingly address all these issues. They're reusable, modifiable, remarkably flexible. Large securing pins can fasten entrances, establish makeshift warnings. In a reality where every issue demands adaptation, securing pins are the supreme adaptation implement. I purchase securing pins by the thousands in different dimensions. Tiny ones for detail work and health uses, large ones for equipment restoration and protection. Kept correctly, they endure permanently and occupy almost zero area. Eighth, lip protection and lip salve. Here's something individuals don't understand until experiencing it. When you're outside, constantly vulnerable to air, sunshine, freezing, and arid atmosphere, your lips split. Not a bit uncomfortable dryness, profound bleeding splits making consuming agonizing, drinking challenging, leaving you susceptible to critical contamination. Lip protection isn't only about ease, though. Ease counts more than individuals believe in survival. It's about sustaining strength of one of your body's most vulnerable regions. Your lips possess some of the thinnest tissue with numerous blood channels near to the exterior.
When they split and bleed, you're establishing open contamination routes directly near your mouth. But lip protection has survival uses way past lip maintenance. It's a superior flame initiator when spread to fabric or material. The oil or wax foundation burns intense and extended, providing valuable additional moments to get kindling burning. It can seal matchsticks, shield metal from decay, grease closures, halt bleeding from tiny wounds, even supply urgent energy if desperate sufficient. Lip protection is superior prevention for skin damage. Spread it to painful areas on feet before they become blisters, and the grease stops rubbing, creating them. The basic act of spreading lip protection, having that instant of comfort and routine, can help sustain psychological steadiness in intensely difficult circumstances. Never minimize small comfort strength in sustaining the determination to survive. Throughout the Iraq conflict, lip protection became such precious commodity among soldiers, it was frequently added in support packages, particularly for exchanging. One container of quality lip protection could exchange for valuable objects because everyone comprehended its worth in that severe setting. Ninth, oral thread. Stop considering about oral thread as only tooth maintenance and begin viewing it as one of the toughest, most flexible cordage you can transport. Oral thread is basically very narrow, very powerful fishing cord enhanced for strength and protection in the human mouth. That makes it remarkably precious for survival uses. Non-coated type has pulling power of about 7 to 9 pounds. Coated type manages 11-13 pounds. That might not appear like significant, but for its dimension and mass, it's remarkably powerful. Unlike standard string, oral thread is created to resist dampness, germs, and snapping under strain.
During health urgencies, oral thread can be utilized for closure. It's already created to be protected in the mouth, powerful sufficient to maintain injury borders together, narrow sufficient to reduce marking. Throughout the Korean War, battlefield medics consistently utilized oral thread for urgent closure when health materials diminished low. But survival uses go way past health application. Oral thread creates superior fishing cord, trap cord for tiny animals, detection cord for boundary warnings. You can utilize it to restore equipment, connect thick substances that would ruin standard string, even slice through substances like padding or flexible materials utilizing cutting actions. I always transport tiny oral thread in my pocket collection. Wrapped it through openings multiple instances, secured it off, and it maintained flawlessly for continuing distance, plus another 3 weeks of everyday application before I troubled replacing it. 10th, acidic solution. White acidic solution might be the most underestimated preparation object in reality. When individuals consider about breakdown, they consider dramatic requirements like protection and refuge. But the quiet killer in extended emergency is inadequate cleanliness and polluted areas. Acidic solution is your defense against both. Acidic solution is a natural sanitizer eliminating most germs, numerous pathogens, and basically all fungus. In a reality without bleach or industrial sanitizers, acidic solution becomes your main protection against microbes that genuinely eliminate most individuals in extended catastrophes. Disease, intestinal illness, fever. These sicknesses prosper when cleanliness fails. Acidic solution prevents them, but it's remarkably flexible past sanitizing. Acidic solution can maintain provisions through preserving, prolonging produce existence for seasons without refrigeration. Throughout the economic collapse, households survived on preserved produce when fresh nutrition was unavailable. The acidic setting stops bacterial development and maintains nutrients. Medically, acidic solution has countless uses. It addresses fungal diseases, calms insect wounds, decreases fever through cooling evaporation, even helps control blood glucose in diabetics. It's been utilized as treatment for thousands of decades because it operates and it's protected. Here's what most never think. Acidic solution can counteract chemical irritants like defensive spray or crowd control remains. During civil disorder circumstances, this understanding could be priceless.
It can also eliminate decay from implements, clear blockages, even function as power cell fluid in emergencies. The advantage of acidic solution is remarkable storage steadiness. Correctly kept, acidic solution endures basically permanently. It doesn't demand refrigeration, doesn't degrade, and genuinely becomes more precious over duration as other sanitizing and health materials deplete.